The best team in the entire country is the number one ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, who stopped Michigan cold in its tracks in Ann Arbor. What in the Blue L are we still talking about as the Buckeyes get their first win against Michigan since 2019, almost 6 years to the date? Man, what a devastating and outstanding showcase for the defending national champs who look every bit like repeating in 2025. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, answer the question in the comments below. Who the hell is going to beat Ohio State? Who is it? Because the kryptonite was supposed to be in maize and blue. The kryptonite was supposed to be in snow, in 29-degree weather, in weather where you can't throw the ball, in a game where Michigan tries to turn it into a rugby scrum, and the Buckeyes just would not be cowed. Did not start that way. But as it stands today, that's 7 ranked wins for Brian Day since beating Tennessee. The last time they lost to anybody at all, Michigan, right? They're coming up on a calendar year of nothing but winning. 12-0. 12-0. First time since 2019. We're also talking about a true freshman quarterback who has played Heisman Trophy level football. A true freshman tailback that has played the best at that position at tailback since J.K. Dobbins in 2017. I will tell you why. You've got the two Saiyans on the outside from the planet Vegeta, and Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. They both showed up. And oh, by the way, the nation's number one scoring defense did what they have been doing all friggin' year. 2 new offense coordinators that nobody's giving credit to, especially Brian Hartline, who's done one hell of a job, has not lost a game as an offensive coordinator. And Ryan Day, who improves to 82-10, 2-6 against Michigan. Again, what are we talking about? This game, though, it had everything that you want. It had stupid penalties. It had damn near fist fights. It had questionable calls. It was all there. This is vintage Ohio State, Michigan. Really great game. So to start, you got the 2 big runs from Jordan Marshall that felt a lot like, oh goodness, is there another Blake Corum about to happen here? Is there another Hassan Haskins about to happen here? Is there another Donovan Edwards about to happen here? Then you get the Saiyan INT, uncharacteristic from the dude who has been the most accurate passer in the sport all year. Might be the most accurate passer in a single season when it's all said and done. Then you get a 6-0 lead for Michigan. They had not, Ohio State had not trailed by 6 points or more all year. But 6-0 still 6-0, largest deficit that they had to overcome. Then you get Jayshon Barner, who nearly headbutts the official, definitely hits the bib of his cap, but any touching of any part of the official's body is grounds for ejection. I think he should have been tossed. Most people think he should have been tossed. I think the officials did a solid to the game and to Michigan by saying, no, we're not going to toss you for that, but you are going to pick up this unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against the goal line, and it is going to cost you downs, and we're going to give the automatic first down to Ohio State. Then you get the 4th and 5, where it felt like, yeah, all right, they're about to dial one up to the Saiyan, from the Saiyan, and that's exactly what they did. Goes deep, 35 yards against Zeke Berry, who's been playing great ball against Jeremiah Smith all game. He catches it, but it's a question of, did he have possession when his foot came down? And when his foot came out, did it come down out of bounds or in the end zone in that way? But it didn't have touchback if they overturned the call. They did not overturn the call. I was with Mike Pereira on this one. I thought that it was a touchback. I thought that ball was absolutely going to be turnover on downs, or at the very least, Michigan's going to get the ball to 20. As it stood, the officials let the call stand. I'm sure there's a conspiracy head out there that thinks it's a makeup call for the Jayshon Barner unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I don't think that's the case. Even so, it's now 10-6. Michigan goes down the field, and all they can get is a field goal. Then with 5:24 left, you start to see Ohio State begin to play the kind of football that it had played all year. They go up 17-9 with 16 seconds left. They took 5 minutes and 8 seconds off the clock in the second quarter. That's magnificent football. That's outstanding football. That is control. There's nothing more intimidating than that kind of control from the kind of team that Ohio State has turned out to be here, man. The number of drives just dwindling because you don't have that opportunity, many opportunities to score on them. So a 2-score game feels like a 4-score game, and that's what Ryan Day has wanted. And then the Buckeyes basically remembered that it is challenge day in Wakanda, and that M'Baku and his posse of Jabori have shown up once again to try to take everything you love, try to prevent you from getting to the Big Ten championship, a game you have not been to or won since 2019. And then you get that second series in the third quarter where Julian Sand finds the other Sand, Carnell Tate, deep down the field, 50 yards. It's beautiful. That feels like a back-breaking play, given the way the game has been going. Sand, who started the game 0 for 2 in this one with a pick, ends up absolutely going ham. 19 of 26 in this game for 233 with 3 TDs and that interception. The first Buckeye quarterback to win against Michigan, again, since 2019. You got a whole Kyle McCord. You got a whole C.J. Stroud, right? You got to go back to Justin Fields for the last time that you had a quarterback do that, and he did it as a true freshman. That's really outstanding to do at the Big House. Then another true freshman in Bo Jackson has one of his game of games. I'm also into this from the standpoint of like check it out. It's 24-9, and the game feels over. Game feels absolutely over. And one of the reasons was Bo Jackson kept picking his spots. I didn't see him overrun the play like he might have earlier in the year. I didn't see him panic when it felt like it wasn't going his way. He kept his composure as people were trying to get in his face. That's really difficult to do in this game. I was really impressed, and you know what? It shows. He's the first true freshman tailback to rush for over 100 yards against Michigan since J.K. Dobbins in 2017. I mean, just outstanding game for him as the Buckeyes are once again rolling going into the Big Ten championship game. This was such a cool moment. The cherry on the sundae for me is that third quarter into the fourth quarter where you watch the Buckeyes run 20 plays, take off 11 minutes and 56 seconds of game clock, over 81 yards to go up 27-9. And at that point, it feels like the game is over. And I thought that, that was Sharon Moore knowing the game was over after his team went back on the field. On 3rd and long, they don't go get it. And instead of going for it on 4th down, even though you are down 2 scores, he punts the football back to Ohio State with about 6 minutes left to play. That for me was throwing in the towel. I think you absolutely got to let Bryce Underwood try to do something here. But Bryce Underwood hadn't been able to do much all day. 8 of 18 for just 63 yards for the freshman phenom. The guy that's supposed to be the guy to beat them all, right? This outstanding day that started for Jordan Marshall with a 36-yard run ends with nothing, back next to nothing. 7 carries, 61 yards. Michigan was held to 100 yards rushing on 24 rushes all the way up until the 2 minutes. And at that point, when the Buckeyes get the ball back, it's just about bleeding the clock, right? That's what it's about. And this is a win that Ryan Day so deserved, and Brian Hartline so deserved. And Matt Patricia, in year 1, gets to do what Jim Knowles could not do, beat Michigan. 1-0 against Michigan. Both of those guys, for me, could be up for the Broyles Award. I think Brian Hartline is a great candidate for this, given his track record as a wide receivers coach and how that award is usually given out. You usually nominate a coordinator for it. I'm not sure that you want to do that for Matt Patricia in year 1, but my goodness, Brian Hartline for me is on that short list with Brian Haynes in Indiana and a couple others of guys that I think are outstanding at calling these games and calling these plays. Ohio State's defense faced fewer than 50 plays in this. That's because the Buckeyes have been so efficient at stopping people. They have been so good at keeping people off the field and keeping their defense fresh to run around and make plays. I would be remiss if I didn't say Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, those guys stepping up. Caleb Downs coming back from it last year. Jeremiah Smith keeping his word, talking about, I can't lose them again. All right, he's 1-0 since that quote. Going to be at least one more game. And on his name day, his birthday, 20 years old, the dude goes and gets a W against the most important regular season opponent that Ohio State is going to face each and every year. My goodness. If it doesn't feel like the Buckeyes haven't reached their final form, it's because I don't think they have. I think they still are waiting. I think they still got more to prove in the postseason. Beating Indiana is going to go a long way with that. But the point to all of that, the Big Ten championship, the balance of power looks like it has shifted. The Buckeyes in Indiana feel like the two best teams in college football, and that's because they are. The Big Ten champ is going to be the number one team in the country. The runner-up ought to be the number 2 team in the country. Both 12-0, the only 2 teams in the Power 4 that can say that when they play each other. There are no undefeated teams left in the SEC after Texas dispatched Texas A&M. And for the folks that continue to say the Buckeyes have not played anybody, that same Texas team that beat A&M 27-17, Ohio State beat that team by 7. All right? Let's stop with the nonsense on this, okay? The Big Ten is wresting control and power away from the SEC, and it ought to be on full display Saturday night in the Big Ten championship, as I expect the national champion will come out of that game. Outstanding win for the Buckeyes, outstanding win for Ryan Day. Very excited for the Scarlet and Gray, who get to break this streak and now get to start a new one, 1-0 against Michigan going forward.